They never truly adored your soul. They were addicted to the way your light masked their internal darkness. Once you peeked behind their curtain, their grip only tightened. Why does a toxic personality crave the presence of a sensitive soul so intensely? Carl Jung suggested the explanation resides within our hidden shadows, those buried parts of our psyche we avoid facing, yet yearn to see reflected elsewhere. If you have struggled with why a partner who once praised you eventually tried to shatter you, if you feel like a magnet for people who suck the life out of your spirit, if you felt your identity dissolving into someone else's madness, pay close attention. This insight might unlock the mystery of every painful bond you survived. Let's define our terms clearly. A highly sensitive person isn't merely someone with big feelings. They act as a psychic filter, pulling in the vibrations of their environment like a parched field drinking rain. They experience your agony as a personal weight. They recognize your hidden brilliance when you feel utterly worthless. They pour out their vitality until their own well runs dry. But there is a hidden layer most overlook. Sensitives don't just endure emotions, they process them like a spiritual furnace. They absorb the grief, resentment, and terror of others, trying to transmute that heavy lead into something tolerable. This explains why healers often end up as emotional janitors in their relationships. They don't just sympathize, they carry the cross of another person's baggage. This weight is often carried in silence, a heavy burden that the sensitive soul believes is their divine duty to bear for the sake of love. Conversely, a narcissist is an individual who built a complex facade to escape a hollow interior. They require external praise and constant energy to maintain a sense of existing. But here is the truth many ignore. They aren't just arrogant, they are paralyzed by fear. Consider that acquaintance who always steals the spotlight, or the partner who treats you like royalty at noon and a ghost by midnight. They weren't just being rude, they were utilizing you to stabilize their own fractured ego. They are like starving ghosts, forever hungry for a substance they cannot produce within themselves, genuine self-worth. Because they lack an internal compass, they must use yours to navigate the world. Jung realized a deep truth about our nature. He claimed we are drawn to those who exhibit our suppressed traits, the pieces of our identity we pushed into the basement. The giver and the taker aren't just rivals, they are two faces of a single fractured mirror. Have you ever wondered why you attract those who exhaust you? The reality is startling. Jung noted that the intersection of two people is like a chemical reaction. If a spark occurs, both are forever altered. But what happens when one is hunting for a lost soul while the other radiates everything they secretly covet? The sensitive person represents the narcissist's stolen potential. You showed mercy when they had become cold. You were vulnerable while they hid behind armor. You were sincere while they were a script. This fosters a fixation, not a bond. A fixation. Because you weren't a human being to them. You were a projection of the parts they discarded. Every glance at you was a glimpse of who they might have been, the person they were before they decided that being real was a liability. That is why they refused to let you go. Losing you wasn't about losing a partner. It was losing the only evidence that they could be good. You weren't a lover to them. You were a life support system. Look at what occurs in their subconscious. They rely on external feedback to feel solid, without a mirror to validate their mask. They fall into the abyss they've spent a lifetime fleeing. You became their savior, their target, and eventually their threat. Because you did the one thing they cannot, you evolved. You began to see the strings on the puppet. When you started building walls, when you stopped providing the applause, when you refused to play the role, they didn't just get angry, they collapsed. Not because they missed you, but because their reflected identity vanished. Jung noted that humans will choose any absurdity over facing their own spirit. The obsession isn't about your value, it's about their fear of the void. But what about your side of the story? Why did you allow the theft of your energy? We must explore this because the truth reveals a secret about your own power. Let's focus on you now. If you are a sensitive soul caught in this loop, understand this isn't about assigning guilt. It is about waking up. Most givers grew up where affection was a prize for performance. Maybe you learned that being valuable meant being a stabilizer for others. Maybe being needed felt like the only way to be safe. You got so good at scanning for danger in others that you went blind to your own needs. Jung called this the wounded healer dynamic, the one who cures the village but bleeds in private. The urge to fix others is often an attempt to mend the broken child within ourselves. You weren't trying to save them. You were trying to rescue the version of you that nobody helped. Every drop of energy you poured into a black hole was an attempt to prove that love could fix the unfixable, including your own past. The predators sensed this. They felt your craving to be essential and they leveraged it. But look at what happens when the giver finally breaks. When the mirror stops reflecting, the narcissist faces a narcissistic collapse. Imagine a person who never looked at their true face suddenly being stripped of their mask. You were the only thing standing between them and reality. Without you, the silence is deafening. This is when the true haunting starts, the frantic messages, the fake tears, the sudden promises of change. They will pretend to be your soulmate for just long enough to lock the door again. They don't want your heart, they want their reflection back. They don't miss your company. They miss the way they felt when you were looking at them with adoration. They don't want you, they want to stop disappearing. Is there an exit? Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming a complete human by integrating your own dark side. For the sensitive, this means respecting your own boundaries as much as you respect the feelings of others. Saying no isn't a sin. Departing isn't a betrayal. Healing yourself instead of a ghost isn't ego, it is survival. The cycle repeats until you learn to provide yourself with the same fierce love you've wasted on those who couldn't feel it. It stops when you realize your worth isn't defined by your utility. This isn't about becoming a stone. It's about becoming a gatekeeper. It's about knowing the difference between a healthy exchange and a one-way street. But what if they actually changed? What if they were serious about getting better? Let's look at the reality of that shift. This is the ultimate question, and the answer is difficult. Jungian thought suggests that real change for a narcissist requires shadow work, so intense it feels like a spiritual death. It would require burning the mask entirely. It would mean sitting in the cold vacuum of their own heart without blaming anyone else. It would mean feeling the agony they caused without making it about their own suffering. Jung said enlightenment comes from making the dark conscious, not by chasing light. For them, this is a descent into a hell they have spent decades avoiding, not because they are demons, but because they are cowards. They would rather ruin 1,000 lives than face the silence of their own soul. Their journey is not your burden to carry. You cannot love a person into a version of themselves that doesn't exist. Let me give you this final truth. They never loved you. They loved the oxygen you provided. But you are not a tool. You are not a renovation project. You are not a mirror. You are a whole, vibrant being. The massive reservoir of love you've been giving away belongs to you. You deserve the same patience you gave to them. The sensitive path isn't about closing your heart. It's about valuing it enough to walk away from those who only want to drain it. Jung believed our scars contain our genius. Your depth and your kindness are not flaws. They are the gold within you. If this is your life, speak up. Your story could be the ladder someone else uses to climb out of the dark. Write your thoughts below. Your voice matters. Your peace matters. You matter. The pattern ends today. To understand this deeper, we must look at the specific way the narcissist targets the empath's most noble traits. They don't look for weakness, they look for strength. They look for your resilience, your ability to forgive, and your unwavering belief in the goodness of others. These are the very things they use against you. They turn your empathy into a weapon of self-destruction. Think about the early stages of the relationship. It wasn't a slow build, it was an explosion of validation. This is known as love bombing. But through a Jungian lens, it's actually a form of psychic hijacking. They mirror your best qualities back to you so perfectly that you feel you finally found someone who truly sees you. In reality, they are just reflecting your own light back at you to gain your trust. Once the anchor is set, the mirroring shifts. They begin to reflect your fears, your insecurities, and eventually, their own self-hatred. This is where the confusion starts. You keep searching for the person you met at the beginning, not realizing that person was just a projection of your own beautiful soul. The empath's greatest struggle is the rescue fantasy. This is the belief that if you just give a little more, stay a little longer, or explain things a little more clearly, the other person will finally wake up. But you are trying to communicate with a mask, not a person. The mask has no ears, the mask has no heart. It only has a hunger. When you realize this, the pain is immense, but it is also the beginning of your freedom. Jung often said that the shadow is 90% pure gold. This means that the parts of yourself you've been hiding, your anger, your self-preservation, your ability to say no, are actually the keys to your liberation. By integrating these darker traits, you don't become a bad person. You become a complete person. You become someone who can still love deeply but also knows when to walk away. You become someone who can see the potential in others but refuses to sacrifice their reality for it. This is the true meaning of individuation for the sensitive soul. It is the transition from being a victim of your own kindness to being a master of your own energy. It is the realization that your empathy is a gift to be shared with those who can honor it, not a resource to be mined by those who wish to exploit it. The narcissist's obsession is a testament to your power, not your weakness. They are obsessed because they cannot replicate what you have. They cannot manufacture genuine connection. They cannot create internal peace. They can only steal glimpses of it through you. But you are not a window. You are the sun. And it is time to stop letting people stand in your light just to keep themselves warm while they leave you in the cold. You must learn to direct that warmth inward. You must become your own sanctuary. In the final analysis, the relationship between the narcissist and the empath is a cosmic lesson in boundaries. It is a harsh, painful, and often devastating teacher, but its lesson is vital. It teaches you that love without boundaries is self-destruction. It teaches you that you cannot save a drowning person who refuses to grab the rope. Most importantly, it teaches you that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Every time you chose them over yourself, you are betraying your own spirit. Healing is the process of ending that betrayal. As you move forward, remember that the path to wholeness is not linear. There will be days when the old patterns pull at you. There will be moments when the silence feels like a void. But in that silence, you will find your own voice again. You will find the hobbies you abandoned, the friends you lost, and the dreams you put on hold. You will find that you are more than enough. You will find that the love you were so desperate to get from them was inside you all along. The narcissist's obsession is a ghost of a life they never lived. Your empathy is the heartbeat of a life you are finally reclaiming. Do not let the ghost win. Do not return to the house of mirrors. Stay in the sunlight. Stay in the truth. The journey of the empath is one of profound transformation. You are moving from a state of unconscious giving to a state of conscious living. You are learning to curate your life, choosing who is worthy of your time and your heart. This isn't being cold, it's being wise. It's understanding that your life force is sacred. Jung's work reminds us that we are all on a journey toward the self. The narcissist is someone who has turned back from that journey, choosing the safety of the ego over the truth of the soul. You, however, are still moving forward. You are facing the darkness, integrating the lessons, and emerging stronger. The pain you've endured is the fire that is tempering your spirit. It is making you resilient. It is making you deep. It is making you whole. So, let the obsession of the narcissist be a signal that you are heading in the right direction. Their desperate attempts to pull you back are just proof that you are finally out of their reach. You have broken the spell. You have seen through the illusion. You have claimed your power. And that, more than anything, is what they cannot tolerate. They wanted a mirror, but you became a mountain. They wanted a supply, but you became a source. They wanted a shadow, but you became the light. This is the end of their story in your life. A story where you are the protagonist, the healer, and the hero. A story where love is a partnership, not a prison. A story where you are finally, truly free. The process of detaching is like a spiritual detox. The toxins of their manipulation, their gaslighting, and their constant need for attention must be cleared from your system. This takes time. It takes patience. It takes a radical commitment to your own well-being. But every day you stay away, every day you choose yourself, the fog lifts a little more. You begin to see the world in color again. You begin to feel the ground beneath your feet. You are not alone in this. There are millions who have walked this path before you, and millions who are walking it now. We are a tribe of sensitive souls learning to navigate a world that often feels harsh. But our sensitivity is our superpower. It allows us to connect, to create, and to heal in ways that others cannot even imagine. We just have to learn how to protect the flame. We have to build the glass around the candle so the wind doesn't blow it out. As we conclude this deep dive, take a deep breath. Feel the space you've reclaimed. Feel the quiet strength growing in your chest. You have survived the storm, and now you are the master of the sea. The narcissist may still be out there, chasing reflections and running from shadows, but they are no longer your concern. Your concern is the beauty of your own life. Your concern is the peace of your own mind. Your concern is the joy of your own soul. Jung believed that the second half of life is for the soul. If you've been through this, you've been fast-tracked into that spiritual maturity. You've seen the depths, and now you are ready for the heights. Don't look back. The mirror is broken, and the truth has set you free. Continue to seek knowledge, continue to practice self-care, and continue to honor the incredible person you are. The world needs your empathy, but more than that, it needs you to be whole. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing the work. This journey isn't easy, but it is the most important journey you will ever take. You are rewriting your destiny. You are breaking the chains of generations. You are becoming the person you are always meant to be. And that is a beautiful thing to witness. Keep going, keep growing, keep shining. The light you've reclaimed will guide you to a future filled with genuine love, profound peace, and a connection that honors every part of who you are. Subscribe to Shadow of Minds and join us as we continue to explore the mysteries of the mind and the path to true self-discovery. Your healing is our mission, and your story is our inspiration. Together, we can turn the shadows into strength and the wounds into wisdom. The pattern is broken. You are free. Now, go live the life you were meant to live. You have everything you need within you. Trust yourself, love yourself, be yourself. The journey continues, and it is more beautiful than you can imagine. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your life. Make it a masterpiece. The narcissist's obsession was the catalyst, but your self-love is the cure. You are the architect of your own reality, and the foundation is now solid. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that you are protected by your own boundaries and fueled by your own light. The mirror is gone, the window is open. Look out at the horizon and see the endless possibilities. You are whole. You are always whole. The capacity for love that you've been pouring into others belongs to you first. The compassion you've been giving so freely, you deserve that same compassion. The empath's journey isn't about learning to love less. It's about learning to love yourself enough to choose relationships that honor your worth, not exploit it. Jung believed that our greatest wounds often become our greatest gifts. Your sensitivity, your capacity for empathy, your ability to see the good in others, these aren't weaknesses to be fixed, they're strengths to be protected. The cycle can be broken, the pattern can be changed, and it starts with you. Subscribe to Shadow of Minds for more deep dives into psychology, self-discovery, and the hidden layers of the human mind. Together, we move from the shadow into the light.